Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mile High Huddle SI. I am your host, Kim Becker, and joining me tonight is publisher Chad Jensen. Now, Chad, the hot topic of the week is that Drew Lock is the worst starting quarterback in the league. Now, statistically, how true is this, and what should fans take away from this statement?
He's definitely amongst the league's worst in terms of passer rating and a few other metrics, inconveniently, unfortunately. But he's still got 4 games left to go to turn the ship around. I mean, right now it comes down to him or Sam Darnold. Take your pick in terms of who's the worst statistical quarterback in the league right now. But there's still time to really turn it around. And I think there are reasons to hope or believe that he can do that. Just this past week in Kansas City, he played a pretty good game. He got one bad play out of his system with an interception on the opening possession once again. But from then on out, he kind of steadied. He did well on third down. The Broncos were 2 for 2 in the red zone, and both of those conversions were off the right arm of Drew Lock, one of which was a beautiful fade to Tim Patrick, a great throw and a great catch. And so there are metrics that imply that he is improving with more time on task with Pat Shurmur. You got to remember, him and Pat, they missed out on 14 to 1,600 reps by losing the OTAs this past spring and preseason. And Pat Shurmur's a brand new hire, right? And that was just a very inconvenient. The Broncos did not have a crystal ball to divine that a pandemic was coming down the pike, or else they might not have fired Rich Scangarello back in January. But nevertheless, Drew Lock has needed all these reps in live bullet, situations. Unfortunately, usually you get those reps in OTAs when the stakes are non-existent. You get those reps in preseason when the stakes are much, much lower. He's had to get those reps in live bullet situations going against, NFL starters, first team caliber competition. And it's taken some time for he and Pat Shurmur to get on the same page, but there are signs that they're doing that. So right now, I'm not really taking much away from that. And even if he does finish this season with the worst quarterback rating in the NFL, it's not the worst thing. He's a second-year pro. He's still within his rookie window, so to speak. I mean, he's only entering, I believe this will be his 15th career start going into Carolina for week 14. So he's still kind of figuring out the way. The question is, can he show enough signs of progress between now and the end of this season to convince John Elway, to convince Vic Fangio that he deserves one more year, 2021, to prove that he can be that future franchise guy. So I'm not jumping off the ship quite yet, but it is concerning, and he needs to turn the ship around.
Yeah, I agree. He needs to turn it around, but like you said, it takes time. He's new, he's fresh at this young football stuff, but it takes time to build the team, and I know that it is hard to wait. So hopefully we'll see him improve in the next 4 weeks, and then of course stick around for next year. So thanks so much, Chad.
You bet. And, it's just so many weird outliers this year. He lost his number one wide receiver. You got injuries across the board, including to him, right? An injury to his throwing shoulder that he suffered in week 2. We don't know exactly how deeply that's affected him since he's returned to the starting lineup. So it's why the Broncos front office is probably more inclined, based on how excited they were about Drew going into 2020. It's probably why they're more inclined to view this season as just a great learning opportunity for Drew and as a kind of mulligan. And that goes for Drew and Vic Fangio.
Yeah, and then the quarterback situation, mentally that probably didn't help him, knowing that he let his team down and all those protocols that whether he didn't adhere to them or not, whatever the story may be, that can't be good for the mental state either. So definitely still rooting for Drew Lock over here, but hopefully we'll see him improve, like we said.